Right then folks, Greeno here. Where am I today? Well, today I am in Bristol, of all places. What am I doing here in Bristol? Well, I have come to a place called Marmo. Now, this is like an Italian-inspired kind of restaurant, wine bar kind of place. Apparently it's really, really good. They're in the Michelin guide, not as a Michelin-starred restaurant, but they have the bib gourmand. Now, I wanted to come here and try this place out for a while. I've seen it's got some really good reviews online, and I've not done an awful lot of Italian food on the channel, have I? So let's get inside and see what it's all about, shall we? Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Well then folks, I've come in and been seated. I've got to say, I really like the vibe of this place. Very kind of clean looking. Got this kind of wood panelling behind me, all painted up. Kind of like a magnolia colour all around. Lots of interesting artwork on the walls. It's a really nice space. Kind of minimalist table arrangements, but I quite like that. You don't want it to be too over fussy, do you? So, what's the deal here? Well, I've got a drinks list here, which has got a lot of different wines and digestives, aperitifs, beer, cider, some soft drinks and that sort of thing. And there's a very, very extensive wine list too, if that's your thing. Unfortunately, I'm driving, so won't be whacking into that today, but there's some really, really interesting sounding stuff from all around, not just sort of Italy, all over the place. So yeah, really, really interesting. For lunch, they currently have this little menu here. Okay, so it's like a 2 or 3 course set lunch kind of deal. There are a couple of little things you can order as like pre-match snacks, shall we call them. But there's 3 starters, 3 main courses and a couple of desserts. Nice and simple. Hopefully that means they're really focusing on the quality of those items. So my order has gone in. I've got to say, really impressed with the staffing here so far. Very, very professional, very, very polite. It's nice when when you're made to feel so welcome, isn't it? So, what have I gone for off this menu? Well, first off, let's talk about the drink. I've gone for something that's called a Rhubarb shrub, non-alcoholic beverage. I'm really into the flavour of rhubarb at the moment though, so I think that's going to be really interesting. For my starter, I've gone for something here called Panelle. There is a Jerusalem artichoke soup or a pig's head and scamorza on grilled bread. I'm guessing that's just bits off the pig's head rather than the whole pig's head like I had at fallow recently. But this Panelle, basically it's like a little chickpea kind of cake thing. It should be a little bit crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. And that's being served with fennel, blood orange and anchovy. So that's a really interesting mix of punchy flavours there, isn't it? Looking forward to that. Main, I'm going to go for something really classic. Tagliatelle, ragu and pecorino. Basically a really posh bag bowl. Looking forward to that too. There are 2 options as a dessert. We've got a blood orange sorbet and a chocolate mousse. So obviously one probably quite a bit lighter than the other. We'll make a decision on that when we come to the end. It does mention on here there is a 12.5% discretionary service charge. Again, the word discretionary, you don't have to pay it, folks. Yeah, but that will be added onto the bill at the end. So 2 courses, £24, 3 courses, £27. I don't think that sounds expensive for a place which should have really good quality. Right then folks, first thing to arrive at my table is my drinks. So I have some still water here, cleansing the palate as we go along, and this is this rhubarb shrub beverage. Now, apparently it's going to be sort of kombucha-ish in flavour. It's like almost like a vinegary kind of thing, which is steeped with the rhubarb, topped up with fizzy water and whatever. Some lime in there too. And that's got a really nice, sharp, a little bit sweet, but not overly sweet. Yeah, there's sharpness in there. There's a bit of citrus from the lime. That is a very acceptable beverage, let me tell you. Cool. Yummy. Right, I've got to save some of that. Don't drink it all, Greeno. Save some for when the food's here. Right then, folks, my starter has arrived. This Panelle with the fennel, with the blood orange, with the anchovies on it. It looks right up my straw, so come and have a little look. Okay, again, we know we're somewhere posh. We've got a lovely linen napkin here to put down on the lap. Let's get tucked into this. I think you'll agree from that little bit of B-roll. This looks really tempting. We've got the panelle here on the bottom, lots of fennel on the top of it, more than I was actually expecting. Then we have the segments of blood orange there, the nice little pop of colour, and great big pieces of anchovy fillet. Now, I know there are those of you out there who are not big fans of anchovies. Personally, I love them, so I think this is going to be really good. So what I want to do, I want to try the little bit of panelle by itself before we get stuck into all the accompaniments with it. Here we go. So take a little close look inside here, so you can see the crispy outside of it and the nice kind of soft inside. That's nice. The two textures make it interesting in the mouth. You've got a little bit of crunch, you've got that softness in the middle, and that chickpea flavour really comes through. That's very nice. Well seasoned too, very nicely seasoned. Let's try this fennel. So that's a raw, dressed fennel, like a salad. Very nice and crunchy. Making up little notes of citrus from there. From the dressing, olive oil. That olive oil gives a little pepperiness to it too. That's delicious. The blood orange, that's going to add a sweetness. In fact, we'll try it by itself, then we'll try it with some of the fennel. Yeah. There's just a pop of sweet citrus there. And then you've got the anchovy, that's going to provide the saltiness. I mean, I'm going to eat just the anchovy by itself because, as I said, I love the things. Oh, and that's a quality one. Good Lord, that's punchy. Yum, yum. Right. The idea is to eat it all together though, isn't it? So let's get a bit of everything. Get some of the blood orange here. Get some of the panelle. Some of the fennel. And chop up a bit of one of these anchovies. Here we go. That really works as a combination. The chickpeas are almost like an earthy flavour. The fennel is fresh. Again, nice dressing there. A citrusy little pop of sweetness from the orange. And a good whack of salty, fishy flavour from that anchovy. It just all melds together, but you're getting little flavour surprises as you're chewing through it. I really like that. That's clever. One last mouthful of this delicious starter, then it's on to the main course. If it's as good as this, I'm in for a treat. So what do we have here? We have the tagliatelle with the ragu and the pecorino on the top. Plenty of olive oil all over the place there. A really good helping of the pecorino. The ragu looks nice, like a pork and beef ragu there. And obviously fresh pasta made on site. Nice crack of black pepper over the top of it. Wow. What I want to do is sort of try some of the ragu sauce by itself first. I can only get it with the pecorino and a bit of the olive oil. I want to see how intense the flavour of that is. That has a really nice depth. Oh yeah. You could give me a bowl of that and a loaf of bread and just leave me alone for a couple of hours. Just dip into it as I go along. That's really nice. The pasta, tagliatelle, so obviously it's a little thicker than a spaghetti would be. Let's see if we can do this now. I'm never quite sure how you're supposed to do this, whether you're supposed to use the spoon to wrap it up and put the spoon in your mouth, or use the spoon to wrap it around the fork and put the fork in your mouth. We'll probably try both as we go along. The pasta is perfectly al dente. Oh yeah. The ragu just clings to it. Here we go. Look at this. Can you see that on there? That is cracking. Thank you. Now, we're going to try and eat it off the fork. Stuff like this is real comfort food, isn't it? It's a chilly February lunchtime as I'm filming this. And this is exactly what I need. And the flavours are immense. So, that sort of peppery olive oil all around the outside. Beautiful. Extra virgin. Goodness me. When you see something like tagliatelle with ragu, and like I mentioned, when I was ordering it, it sounds like a posh spaghetti bolognese, doesn't it? This is about 10 levels up. It's insane. And it's a really good portion too. Sometimes when you go to places and get the set lunch menus, 3 courses. It's kind of like 2 starters and a dessert. Not here. The starter plate with the panelle was reasonably substantial. This is definitely substantial. But the flavour is just bang on. Absolutely bang on. Oh, Greeno, come on, man. I've got to eat it before it gets cold. Oh, yeah. Right, you're going to have to leave me alone now, folks. Give me a moment with this. That was delicious. Absolutely exceptional. Look at that. Cleaned the plate. And do you know what? I'm sad it's all gone. Could have eaten another one. Definitely got to try a dessert now, I think. I'm just kind of blown away a little bit by the quality of it all, really. For the dessert option, I went with the blood orange sorbet. There was a chocolate mousse option. I thought after all that pasta and whatever, putting chocolate mousse on top of that is probably a little bit heavy. This looks great though. Look at this. Beautiful shaping of that sorbet. And it kind of ties the meal together in a way, because obviously there was blood orange in my starter, wasn't there? So, let's have a look at this. Oh, that looks smooth. Oh, and it is. What was the line out of Blackadder? Is it as smooth as a cashmere cod piece? Such a vibrant flavour of that blood orange too. It has sweetness. It has the orange flavour. Blood oranges are a little sweeter than normal oranges, aren't they? You've still got that little hint of sharp citrus there. But it's more sweet than sour. Or more sweet than sharp. Put it that way. God, but it's so well made. Sometimes in sorbets, you get too much like ice crystals in there, don't you? This you don't. And you put it into your mouth, then it just melts. And just like this juicy explosion all around your mouth. That's cracking. Right, I'm going to finish this up. I'll get the bill and we'll talk about it all outside. I think it's going to be a positive ending to the review, don't you? Right then, folks. How good was that? I'm so glad I came to Bristol today to visit Marmo here. Absolutely outstanding. Let's run through this bill, okay? We have the drink was £5 for that house shrub. Obviously, they've made that themselves in-house. They steep the rhubarb in the vinegar, do all that kind of creative process first, and then mix it with the soda water and whatever. The 3-course lunch, £27. £27 for those 3 courses of Michelin kind of quality food. I've got to say, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to eat in some really good restaurants recently, and this is as good as any of them. That starter with the panelle and the 3 kind of what you might think of fairly punchy flavours and very contrasting flavours really worked. What was that? It sounded like they were coming to arrest me. Oh no, it's a technical rope rescue unit, whatever that means. Someone's rope is in trouble. Anyway, like I said, the punchy elements all kind of work together. Really, really clever. Really clever to do that. The main course. Tagliatelle, ragu, pecorino. Classic, right? But this was right up there. Right up there. The flavours in that ragu were incredible. The pasta, homemade, perfectly al dente, and then that peppery extra virgin olive oil drizzled on the top, and the pecorino, oh my goodness, that's as good a bowl of pasta as you will find anywhere, I'm telling you. Little blood orange sorbet to finish. Nice and light, but beautifully made, really smooth, really flavourful. Yeah, I'm happy. And the service and the ambience in there, nice little bit of background music. And even though I'm here on a midday lunchtime, by the time I finished up, the restaurant was pretty much full. Real quality. Real quality. I can see why the Michelin inspectors are impressed. I've got to give it a score. Well, it definitely can't be anything less than a 5. Is it a 5 plus? I think it is. I think it is. I think it's a 5 plus. I can't find any fault in it, and it's exceptional. Absolutely banging. If you're in Bristol and you want something that's really, really good quality and not going to break the bank, 36 quid, including service charge I paid for that lunch. Get yourself to Marmo. It's ace. Right guys, so if you've enjoyed this video, where I've been looking at Marmo here in Bristol, don't forget, click a thumbs up on there for me, it does help with the channel. And if you're new around here and you like this video, have a little look around the vault and see what else you enjoy. Maybe you'll be tempted to subscribe to the channel and ding your bell for notifications. Right, where am I off to next? I don't know, but back in my car, I'd get warmed up, I reckon. I'll see you next time, folks.